We cannot continue to rely only on our military in order to achieve the national security objectives that we've set. We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as well funded.
The literal building of concentration camps in America. We're able to track and monitor and capture American citizens because we have a system called the Social Security numbering system. They have a program now in America under the Homeland Security Act, and it's called TIPS. They want you to turn in your neighbors to the government. Government Admits Concentration Camp Program. Quotes Congressman Henry Gonzalez, Democrat from Texas. He says, the truth is, yes, the plans are here, where you could, in the name of stopping terrorism, evoke the military and arrest Americans and put them in detention camps. As President Bush in 1989 authorized the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, to build 43 primary camps, having a capacity of 35,000 to 45,000 prisoners each, that President Reagan ordered concentration camps. Colonel Oliver North, working with Senior George Bush and others in the Pentagon, with the approval, evidently, of Ronald Reagan, it is said, at least Oliver North claimed that, they set up this concentration camp program.
In your work at the NSC, were you not assigned at one time to work on plans for the continuity of government in the event of a major disaster?
Mr. Chairman.
I believe that question touches upon a highly sensitive and classified area, so may I request that you not touch upon that, sir?
I was particularly concerned, Mr. Chairman, because I read in Miami papers and several others that there had been a plan developed by that same agency, a contingency plan in the event of emergency that would suspend the American Constitution. And I was deeply concerned about it and wondered if that was the area in which he had worked. I believe that it was.
May I most respectfully request that that matter not be touched upon at this stage.
FEMA's plan for mass destruction attacks, of course it's true. They gave out a contract for $300 million to build concentration camps. Here's a letter that gives proof that there is indeed an Army regulation on what is called a civilian inmate labor program. And attached to this was the plan for setting up these labor camps. You know, I've been able to receive a copy of this. This was a booklet put out by a man named William Pabst. He sued the United States government. It went to federal district court, and then it went to the United States Court of Appeal. He stated there is a plan for concentration camps in America. All the way back to the 70s, William Pabst. I have the transcripts from the court hearings. Even the judge, the federal judge on the bench, admitted it. This couple told me that they, as they were driving in the small town of Pine Bluff, North Carolina, we managed to take a picture through a crack of the inside of the railway car. Notice the chains. They appear to look like shackles. I want you also, my friends, to see what appeared to be seats or benches on either side. And my friends, if this was a cattle vehicle, cattle don't need padded benches, do they? This looks like this is going to transport human beings.
Go ahead.
This is on another subject. We have a very great problem in this country today, and I wonder if you would use your leadership to counteract the rumors, the rumor mongers that are abroad in the land who are spreading all these rumors and scaring people to death. Large segments of our citizens believe that the United Nations is taking over whole blocks of counties in Kentucky and Tennessee, and some of them, they believe that we're in a concentration camp, and they're going to give our army to Russia and all that baloney.
The issue is, we live in an interdependent world. We have to cooperate with people. We're better off when we do. We're better off with NATO. We're better off with the United Nations. We're better off when these countries can work together. So I just think for folks that are worried about this out in the country, they need to be thinking about how we're not going to give up our freedom or our independence, but we're not going to go it alone into the 21st century either. We're going to work together. And
elected to the presidency, he installed Louis Giuffrida as head of FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Giuffrida was an old cold warrior from Reagan's California days whose specialty was suppression of unrest and dissent. Giuffrida, North, and George Bush began to turn FEMA into an instrument of domestic anti-terrorism.
You're dealing with a group of people in the Reagan administration who equated political dissent with treason and who cannot differentiate between emergency procedures, which I think everyone agrees are necessary, and suppressing political dissent. And with North and Poindexter and Casey, you had a group of people who saw Americans who disagree with them as the enemy.
Colonel North, in your work at the NSC, were you not assigned at one time to work on plans for the continuity of government in the event of a major disaster?
Mr. Chairman.
I believe that question touches upon a highly sensitive and classified area, so may I request that you not touch upon that, sir.
I was particularly concerned, Mr. Chairman, because I read in Miami papers and several others that there had been a plan developed by that same agency, a contingency plan in the event of emergency that would suspend the American Constitution. And I was deeply concerned about it and wondered if that was the area in which he had worked. I believe that it was,
may I most respectfully request that that matter not be touched upon at this stage. If we wish to get into this, I'm certain arrangements can be made for an executive session.
And tragically, the only member who got close was Jack Brooks.
Here at the National Memorial Cemetery, and I'm looking at what we were seeing on the internet, and it looks like they are doing some construction out here, and apparently this is the area that they're talking about over here with the vaults. I do not see any of the plastic coffins, but I have found, and they are covering a lot of stuff up. It looks like they've put these vaults in the ground, and they're covering this stuff up. Here, we're going to move on over here. Some better photos of or better video of the vaults. There's your vaults. This is quite interesting to say the least. They've covered it up. You can see right there they've got them in the ground and they're covered up. I'm gonna walk over here a little bit farther down this way. I don't want to leave the truck too far behind because of course there's things in there I don't want people to get. Yeah, there's your vaults. And still looking for the plastic coffins. I don't see any of those, but we definitely got the vaults and they're being covered up. Now these look like they could, this is pretty damn deep. I can't get a good visible, well, right there if you look across you'll see that wall on the other side has probably a 6 or an 8 foot ladder and it's not reaching the top, so that would be let's see, we'll zoom in on that. I think That would be probably a 10-foot wall there. So this hole is about 10 feet deep, maybe 12 feet deep. And these vaults, they go, they continue and continue and continue. All the way back over here. And I still see nothing that they're going to be putting inside these vaults, and the reason they're covering them up is quite interesting, because you can see that these are brand new vaults. Apparently there's a row between the vaults over here that I'm walking to real quick. I hope nobody stops to see what I'm doing. There's some of the diesel trucks that have been bringing them in. I can see one parked over there. Yeah, I could say I'm probably a nervous wreck. There's our flag flying over the memorial cemetery. Okay, here we are. Okay, now this is interesting here. This is just an empty section. They've obviously built this to where these things are not going to sink. They have a lot of ABC in the ground there. These things aren't going to sink in a big rain or anything. So they go all the way to the end over there. You can see all the construction trucks and stuff there. So I'm standing outside this gate. We're going to take a walk back towards the truck because there's not much more to see here. But I had to come out here and check to see if the rumor on the internet was true, and it is true. I think this originated from Alex Jones again, and my God, if that guy he's got his shit together, man. Everything he's ever said has happened. It's been true. I don't know where he gets all of his information, but you can count on him being the one to tell you what's really going on. So they'll be covering it up with all that ABC right there. Why they would be covering up all these empty vaults, your guess is as good as mine. But I just had to drive out here and verify it. Okay, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to videotape this because, of course, I can't get a whole lot on YouTube. I don't have one of their master accounts or whatever the hell they're called. So we're going to be getting back in my truck over here. My purple truck. And heading back home to let the people know what we found out here at the cemetery, the National Memorial Cemetery in Phoenix, Arizona. It's actually Cave Creek, I think, out here, but it would be the Phoenix area. So there you go, there you have it. It's here, it's real, it exists.